And we should be live. I haven't got a clue whether they can hear us. There is one comment.
I think we are live, Big Luca, because
Yeah.
I see the live button up there. And I think we can ask people to comment. So if you guys can hear us and see us, enter in a comment right there, because if you click see all,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they can see us right there.
I don't know whether I disabled the comment because, getting people to make comments is very dangerous these days.
Okay. Okay, you turn
Let me just hide current. Yeah, maybe comments from the Facebook Live post appear and be live. Yeah, they should be able to comment. Ok, ciao a tutti signori, non ho la minima idea di cosa stia succedendo. Stiamo usando robe professionali, dovremmo essere live su Be Live TV. All right, we got into debt to get into this equipment, all the lights and the studio and the software. Yeah, just for you. So we have Dave Dee in the house, Mr. Dave Dee, and we're gonna wait until everybody connects. There is just 19 people for now, which is ridiculous for me. Let's get to like 300, and then we can just talk. Otherwise,
Alberto said you can hear us. Mateo said, yeah, so yeah, they can hear us. We're good to go.
Good, nothing but trained professional in here. So, we know what we're doing. You can tell. Yeah, so I'll just wait until everybody connects. So how have you been doing? You're excited? Are you ready?
I am so excited about coming. And first of all, thank you for inviting me to be on your stage. I am truly honored to come to Italy and speak on your stage. And we're gonna deliver some information that's gonna put a lot of money in people's pockets and truly help them grow their business, become more powerful, become more persuasive, become more influential, and real practical things that they can take and that they can use.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very important, that people understand that, Dave was very gracious in inviting, in accepting my invitation and also helping me with the organization, with the other speakers, because, at the end of the day, this is an event in which we celebrate Dan's teaching, Dan Kennedy's teachings. And that's very important for everybody. We should not forget that. And so Dave immediately understood, as soon as the bad news hit, that the teachings of Dan Kennedy had to carry on. And I immediately identified in Dave the right person. It was actually the first person that I asked to please come to my event, because he has been. Actually, introduce yourself and explain this to people. So who are you and what is your relationship with Dan, and what makes you an expert about Dan Kennedy's teachings, if it were?
Yeah, so I had a dream when I was a little child, and when I was 8, and that dream was to be a professional magician. And I had that dream throughout my entire life, but it wasn't until I was older, in my 20s, that I decided to really go for it, to try to make a living, make money doing it. And I was only doing about 3 shows a month, and I didn't know what to do, right? And so I went to a big seminar, very similar to the type of your seminar that you do. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. It's in the southern part of the United States. And I went to this big event, and the last speaker on the program was Dan Kennedy. I never heard of this guy before, right? So I sat there and I took notes, and he was talking about marketing, and he was talking about sales. And I thought, Big Luca, that if I just got really good at being an entertainer, at being a magician, that I would be successful. And what happened was that wasn't the case. It didn't matter how good I was if nobody knew about me. And so I actually bought Dan's product that was there that I didn't think I could afford, right? I didn't have the money to buy this product, but I bought it. And most importantly, I took it and I used it. I implemented it. And I went from doing 3 shows a month to 25 shows a month in less than 90 days. In my 4th month, I did 57 shows. And within a year, I paid off over $80,000 in debt. I had bought a new house, I had bought a new car, and I was living my dream. And then you probably don't know this part of the story. Right after I bought the course, Dan was having a seminar, a copywriting seminar, and he sent a sales letter out, and I really couldn't afford this. So I actually wrote to Dan and I said, hey, listen, I'm a magician, I'm an entertainer. How about we trade? So I'll do my show for your seminar and in exchange for a ticket. And he agreed. And that's how I got to really know Dan. And then he invited me to speak on his stages because I was successful at what I was doing. Other business owners then started asking me for my advice about sales and marketing. And then when Dan sold the company, he sold the company, and then the company was sold again. The second time it was sold to a group of business people that didn't really know the business. And so Dan said to them, you better get somebody in here who knows how to do marketing, because you guys don't know.
Knows what the hell are we talking about? Because otherwise, nothing is going to turn out okay.
Nothing's going to turn out okay. Exactly. And so for 3.5 years, I actually worked for the company that Dan founded. And I was very fortunate because Dan and I worked very, very closely together, creating products together, selling products together, speaking on stages together. And so I happened to create the highest selling product.
Okay. Here you are.
Yeah, and so that's my background with Dan. And now I no longer work for that company. I've got my own business again, and really, but I'm really excited about again coming to Italy, being on your stage, and passing on a lot of these teachings, as well as some secrets that I of my own that about persuasion and influence and how to be more powerful in your business.
Yeah, let's call it for what it is, manipulation. And one of the theme, actually, because I want to clarify that there is people listening to us. I clarified that this event will teach mental manipulation. I understand that, usually people don't say manipulation, they use influence and whatever, but let's call it for what it is. You have to give yourself permission to use the word manipulation, and that's what the event will be around. It's actually one of the things that I want to remove from people is the shame of using the word manipulation, and I want to really and we will get into that for 3 days. It's mental manipulation, and we don't have to be nice with them. They enjoy the word manipulation. So I know you're a very polite person.
Well, manipulation, but it depends upon how we're using it in the context, right? So yeah. I think mental manipulation is fine, depending upon what your reason is for using it, right? So if your reason is to convince somebody to buy your product or service, that's not going to help them. That's a problem, right? But if you're using it to convince somebody because you can help them, then I think actually, Big Luca, that it's a obligation to do it, right? So if I've got a prospect that comes to me and I can help them solve a problem that they have, well, then I want to use every strategy, including mental manipulation, to get them to buy it, because what I'm actually doing is helping them get the solution to a problem that they came to me for, that they want to have solved, right? And so that's so I think it's fine to use it in that way, because and we're going to be teaching a lot of strategies that they can use to do exactly that, to get people. I'm actually going to teach some stuff where they can plant thoughts in somebody else's mind and make them believe that those thoughts were theirs.
Yeah, that's manipulation. I mean, you can call it influence if you want, but yeah, absolutely. Actually, I am finishing the slides for my event, because they're not finished yet, because I dragged them, until the pretty much the last day. That's me. But the reason is that I am adding so much stuff inside, and one of the things, I mean, they don't know, but it's just a spoiler. I will talk about is actually the trifecta of ethics. So
Oh, okay.
I will tell them immediately when to use it. There is actually an equation they can use of when it is okay to use it and when to stop, because that's a slippery slope for many people. I mean, many people actually get it. They say, okay, it's okay to manipulate and push it and to use sleight of the hand tactics only if the product is good, or when can I do it, what is the extent to which I can use those strategies. This will be, of course, pretty much be dealt with in the first 30 minutes. First of all, for legal reason. Second of all, because we don't have to, again, forget that Dan Kennedy never scammed anybody. If there is one complaint you never hear from people is Dan Kennedy scammed me or something. Dan Kennedy teaches strategies which are very aggressive, but is very strong. One of the things that I know about him, about ethics and about over-delivering. I mean, I still get books from him every month. When I was with him, he very graciously agreed to add another day of his time to do the video course that we produced together. Unfortunately, things happen in between. So right now is not in the best shape to do it, but it was like, let's over deliver. Do you want to interview me for another day? Let's do it. Let's add, let's give them, let's make them actually understand. So that's actually very important. And I mean, nobody's flying from the US to teach how to defraud people.
Yes, definitely not to how to defraud people. So if you look at the comments, we have this ethical manipulation sounds very good to me. Ornella says, get the solution to the problem that they came to me for. So he's quoting me. Yeah, that's what we're really talking about here. Because I think that a lot of business owners, they don't sell hard enough. They don't.
That's the point.
Yeah, and when you don't sell hard enough, you are hurting your prospect. You're hurting them. They have a problem. They come to you for the solution. And you don't use tactics that you can help them get the solution, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about. And I know I've been talking to you about the event. You're way going to over deliver on this thing. You're going to blow people's minds with what we're doing. And the stuff I have planned is just going to be unbelievable.
I know.
Again, it's going to be, it's very, very, and again, what I like about your event, and one of the reasons that I agreed to come to Italy and speak on your stage, is because I know that you're the real deal, right? I know that you actually really care about delivering not just delivering, but over delivering to the people who are going to be there. So they walk out with not just, oh, I'm excited, but they walk out with, here are things that I can do right away so I can see results, right? You're all about results.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't know whether I have updated, first of all, about the result we recently achieved with a big Luca international company. We violated another European record. So we did basically close to $1 million in a launch.
Nice,
we
man.
Did
virtual fist bump, brother. Virtual fist bump. Boom.
800,000 euros of cash collected and another 100,000 euros in installments. So we're happy. We have our new proprietary platform, which is called Katanga, with gamification points, cost us a lot of money, with a new player, which at least gives pirates hard time. Well, they pirated anyway, but whatever. With the hero path, so there is actually a road which represents your progress.
Wow.
And there is this man moving onto the road and reaching different goals.
Wow. And
he actually keeps track of how many hours you've listened to, so people can actually track and see their progress. So this is something I hadn't told you yet about that.
Yeah, that's very cool. I'm just looking. You see the comments because they're kind of cool here. So Roberto is doing because he knows that I'm a mentalist, and he's actually doing a mentalist trick right here. And so we'll do it with everybody. Okay, maybe you can translate it into Italian. Okay, but he did it in English. It's I'm going to project onto the screen of your mind 2 digits. Both are odd.
Adesso vi farò venire in mente 2 numeri.
Okay, and both are different.
Tutte e due sono Dispari sono diversi.
Right. So 11 would not work.
11 non funziona.
Okay? While 15 or 19 would be fine.
15 e 19 andrebbero bene.
Okay. And then he says, what digits are you seeing?
Quali numeri avete in mente?
So both odd, both different, between 1 and 50.
Tutte e due dispari, tutte e due differenti.
And how many of you got the number 37?
Quanti di voi hanno il numero 37?
So it's funny. It's actually an old mentalist.
Yeah, it's very difficult to translate. I'm not entirely sure I translated it correctly. So we will have better translation at the event, by the way. It will be a simultaneous.
A famous mentalist in Italy, very, very good. His name is Luca Volpe. And I've got some of Luca's books, actually. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Good.
Yes,
Okay.
So Roberto, they're doing a magic trick right on our broadcast here. I like that. Paulo says, not being able to sell my service to someone that could really have benefited from it benefited from the results is a very sad situation. Yeah, and so that's what we're talking about here, right? So that's what we're talking about. So Gabriel, by the way, says spectacolare, meaning he got 37. So you did translate it correctly. He was
good.
His mind was a little blown there. So
good. Molto bene.
And
by the way,
yeah.
So people don't know that you're actually half Italian.
Yes.
That's interesting. So would you mind sharing what your surname is, what your real surname is?
My actual name, and I'll tell you the story behind it. My actual name is DiPietro. That's my actual name, is DiPietro. And when I was in college, I had a radio show, and I changed it to Dave Dee because it's easy to remember. And then when I was doing entertainment, when I was a magician, no one could remember DiPietro. And so I kept it as Dave Dee, and then I got known as Dave Dee. Yeah, but my actual name is DiPietro. And so but we're going to keep that secret. That's just between our Italian friends and you and I.
Yeah, and the countless people that will be at the event. But actually, it's a very good hint for mental manipulation because I have the same problem. So my surname is De Stefani, which, by the way, in the US, it's De Stefani. So people believe I'm a lady, but that's okay. The problem in Italy, I have never got any of my school teacher to actually call me Luca. I meet them 10 years later, 15 years later, and they say, "Hi, Stefano." Because Stefano is a very common first name in Italy, and my surname is De Stefani. Now, the tragedy is that my dad was named Francesco, my brother's name is Simone, my name is Luca, so there is no correlation with Stefano, and still to this day, I meet my literature lecturer from the university. "Oh, hi, Stefano, how you do?" And so I had to change it as well for the US market, which I got into first, actually ahead of the Italian market, because Luca De Stefani, nobody can really remember that. It's difficult. So then I changed it to Big Luca.
Yeah, which is brilliant, by the way, which is brilliant because that is a form of marketing. Because if people don't know you, if they don't remember you, right? So the reason I changed my name is I didn't want people I don't perform as a magician anymore, right? But I didn't want people to say, "Oh, I want a magician." I wanted people to say, I want Dave Dee, right? So I had to get them to remember my name, just like you got them to remember Big Luca, right? Everyone knows Big Luca, right? Big Luca, oh yeah, right? Because it's different and it stands out, and that's one of the things that the entrepreneurs and the business owners need to do is make sure that their marketing message stands out from the crowd, stands out from everybody else. And so what you call something, what you call it makes a big difference. And so I know a lot of people will do a consultation where they'll meet with somebody before they sell them, right? Either in person or typically in person, right? So what you call that meeting makes a really big difference in whether the person's excited about it or not. I'm going to tell you a true story. This is you may have to translate this so it works out. But so there was a book, and the book's title was Astrological Love. That was the title of the book.
Ok, c'era un libro, il suo titolo era Amore astrologico.
Okay, nobody bought it. Terrible.
Nessuno lo comprava, terribile.
So a marketer said, you know what?
Il marketer ha detto,
what if we just change the title?
se lo cambiamo solo semplicemente il titolo.
So the inside of the book was the same.
Quindi dentro del libro il contenuto era lo stesso.
The title they changed to this. Ready?
Hanno cambiato il titolo in
How to Satisfy a Woman Every Time and Have Her Beg for More.
Come soddisfare una donna ogni volta e averla e far sì che lei implori per averne di più.
Right. So millions of copies.
E ha venduto milioni di copie.
Yeah. And so what you call something makes a big difference in whether you're influencing someone to want it.
Yeah. So one thing that I actually do, which I do pretty much, and I really shouldn't disclose this, but I'm speaking English. There is actually a third of people actually getting what we're saying. The rest is just watching for the sake of it, but whatever. I sometimes use like meaningless names just to get people to be curious. Like, for example, the last webinar I did, which, by the way, you'll be proud of me, more than 5,000 registrations, 2,900 showed up. I will show you my screen of Webinar Jam. 2,900 people showed up, and we made 815 sales of €1,000 average.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And the webinar was called I Am Your Puppy.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Right. So this kinds of gets you different pictures in your mind. It gives you the pictures of Berlusconi being the puppy with girls. It gets you all excited about the fact that I am important or something, but it really doesn't mean anything. And somebody actually told me, oh, you should be careful with that name because it doesn't really mean anything. And I was like, that's the point. People are going to gossip about that. They're going to share posts about it. They're going to call me an idiot about that, which they always do. But in the end, more people are going to subscribe to my webinar.
So there's a question here from Oscar Di Pasquale. Oscar's being, I believe Oscar's being kind of a wise guy. He wants to know, how did you choose your nickname, Big?
It wasn't decided by me. I was actually doing Kindle publishing at the time. There was somebody named Dave Cozile. It was this blonde, nice, very young guy that was doing quite well for himself at the time with Kindle publishing. And I think he wrote Big Luca, Big Money on like my Instagram at the time, which had like 3 followers. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, I'm Big Luca. That's true. And it's self-aggrandizing enough that it fulfills my ego. And so Big Luca it is,
Yeah, exactly. I'm drinking the same water as you. So let's see here. Let's see. So Christian says, Dave Dee, DiPietro, he spelled the name correctly, is full of surprises. Apollo says, and Webinar Jam was buggy as hell too.
I had problems with that. Yeah. Basically,
okay, we're going to talk offline about that. Don't use Zoom. Use Zoom.
I literally couldn't share my PowerPoint presentation, so I had to share my screen.
Well, that's even more amazing, though. That's even more amazing, the sales then.
Yeah. So and I had to
always buggy, Paulo.
The PDF with the copy.
Yeah, so you want to use Zoom. Alicio has Alicio has a question. How is it possible to self-manipulate yourself to do things you don't want to do in order to get the things you can get, especially without instant gratification? That's a really great question. And so how do you get, so it really comes down to your reasons why. This is like the most important thing. So again, his question is, how do I manipulate myself to do the things that I know that I should do, even though I don't want to do them? And because I know that they're the right things to do. And it really comes down to your reasons why. So what I do in that scenario, and I do this, is I will list all of the reasons why I must do this. By the way, all of the good things that are going to happen, as well as all of the negative things, the painful things that are going to happen if I don't do it. Okay. So I use, as Tony Robbins talks about, there's two things that motivate us, get us to do things, pain and pleasure. And so I use both. If you don't have powerful reasons why you're going to do it, the reasons behind why you want to do it, then you won't do it. What will happen is you'll just say, oh, I don't feel like doing it today. But if you have powerful reasons, emotional reasons that you can feel inside you, then you will go and you'll do it even though you don't want to do it, and it isn't instant gratification.
Yeah, thank you for this. So, I also teach them to do. I'm a big fan of Bob Proctor. He changed my life. So to use repetition to change the subconscious paradigm. The problem is that many times people do repetition and mental conditioning on things which are not high on their value, so they're not important for them. So the reason why is not strong enough. And they say, how come I cannot really do repetition? Shall I do this? I don't really see the point in this because it's not important to you. And you're actually trying to reach many times somebody else's result who maybe manipulated you into thinking you should reach. So it's really fucked up. And that's very important. The reason why. I believe we all started without money. And the reason why was to move away from pain. That was painful, man. I don't know about you. I didn't enjoy that one bit.
No, it was not. Yeah. Yeah.
It was not nice.
Saying I've been rich and I've been poor, and rich is better.
Which is better. Which is better. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're getting a lot of questions here, which is fantastic. Are tickets still available for your event, or are you done?
Yeah, so that's the real problem. So basically, right now, I haven't announced that we have 19 available. I haven't officially said that. I am saying that now in English. The event will be completely sold out in a few days. There is always people that buy at last. The first 2 tiers are completely sold out, and we still have some tickets business class available. A few of them I will translate it. Allora, gli stavo dicendo, giusto perché stiamo facendo questo video, mi ha chiesto se ci sono ancora dei ticket. Ne sono rimasti, oggi ho contattato l'ufficio, esattamente 19. Quindi se vi piace questa cosa qua potete andare su biglucaevento.com o contattare il venditore di riferimento, mi stava richiedendo. Fate conto che i primi 2 tiers, anche i first class, sono completamente sold out. Questa è la domanda che mi ha fatta. Adesso stiamo facendo questa intervista, poi lo annunciamo ufficialmente. So yeah, anyway, we'll be...
We're getting a lot of questions that I'm going to be answering.
By the way, there will be, I believe, 2 distinct Q&A sessions that includes you, not only you, but also you. So if you come to the event in Riccione...
I'll be your favorite one, though. Let's just...
Oh, you're always my favorite one, by the way. You're the first one that wrote me back about doing this little interview. One of them hasn't replied to me yet, which really, really, really annoys me. I'm just kidding you. Yeah. By the way, on the 11th, we will have Brian Kurtz. Who is on holiday in Miami, kudos to him, more power to him right now. And so there will be Q&A sessions. One of the things that they appreciate a lot is asking these questions. So I believe it's silly to limit you guys, because you're flying from the US, you're very close to Dan, you've done amazing things. So if you guys want to ask him questions live with the microphone and everything, there will be simultaneous translation, or I will be translating. At the event, that will be possible. It's been taken into consideration and actually approved by the staff, which is me. Basically, I said yes. let's have some Q&A sessions with Dave Dee, Kurtz, and the other.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay, there's a challenge here, Big Luca. I'm being actually challenged. I bet my name is the most difficult. I challenge you to read it. Now you can tell me if I'm doing it. I don't know if you can see it, but
it's not an Italian name, so I wouldn't.
Serban Abalase.
Serban Abalase. It's not an Italian name anyway. At least it doesn't.
I pronounced it correctly. I believe.
Yeah, I think you did. So now you have to to purchase 25 grand mentorship, whatever. We were right. He was
That's
right.
exactly. That's exactly. So then we have how do I create a sense of urgency in people who I want to sell my service? Well, that's something that we're going to talk a lot about
Yeah, a
at
lot.
the event, and I know that you're going to touch upon that. One of the ways to do that is with there's many ways, but one of the ways to do that is with a deadline, right? So they've got to respond before a certain period of time in order to get it. Dave, how is marketing seen in the U.S.? In Italy, it's always seen as that creative and useless thing that people do that are not smart enough. Yeah, so that's a really good question from Oscar Di Pasquale. So marketing in the U.S. is basically the same. I mean, for most people, other than folks that follow like Dan, or in Italy that follow you, Big Luca, most marketing is useless, right? It doesn't do anything. It's just to get the name out there. That's how it is here too. So we just had the Super Bowl here in the United States, which is the big football in American football game, and people were paying like $5 million for a minute, 1 minute on the super commercial advertisement, and on some of them, I watched them. I didn't even know what the damn thing that they were selling. I didn't even know what the company was, you know? So, but that's definitely not what you teach at all, is it? Or what you're going to be sharing at the event?
No, no, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, often tell them that, in the US, it's easier to sell because US customers, first of all, there is a very practical reason, which is you guys, credit card limits are higher than Italians. In Italy, having a 3 grand credit limit is a bummer. I have US Amex and US cards. I can spend 50 grand for each transaction. I just had my Bank of America limit bumped up from 10 grand to 18 grand, which in Italy, I don't believe Berlusconi can do that, with a normal Italian credit card. So there is a factual reason that it's easier. And also US customers are less skeptical than Italians. But by the way, I will talk about how to manipulate a skeptic person. It's actually it's easier to sell to skeptics. That's I sell very well in Italy, so there will be a whole conversation. There's actually a very specific module I will be explaining. I believe in the second day, if not the third.
So if somebody still wants to get a ticket, because I'm not sure that everyone's on here, and we're getting a lot of questions.
Yeah. So let me just write.
Yeah, just because I'm sure people after seeing this are going to want to get a ticket to this. You said you only have a tiny amount left. So
yeah, very few.
Yeah, so why don't
this is the link, biglucaevento.com. If some of you wants to grab the last tickets, that's doable. In the last, in the next few days, it will be completely sold out. The best tiers are gone. They're gone. But I don't believe it's smart to lose the opportunity to hear things that have never been taught in Italy. And actually, an event on mental manipulation, I don't know whether it's never occurred in the world. I don't believe so. Directly from somebody. By the way, you've been chief marketing officer of JKIC, and you've worked side by side with Dan himself. And that's absolutely amazing. And you hold a lot of records yourself. I mean, your sales from the platform are up the roof. I mean, they're insane.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things we're going to be talking about is, a lot of those strategies that I use to sell on stage. So, I've sold $540,000 on stage in 45 minutes. And we've online. I mean, we've done. I have a client that followed my strategy, did $400,000 online. And just like that, I've got another client did $117,000 over the telephone with a teleseminar. And by the way, 57 minutes, right? So to a small niche audience. So yeah, we're going to be sharing all of those strategies that are easily applied. You don't have to be selling from the stage, although you can, right? But a lot of them can be easily applied. So how to get the prospect, how to get your person who's in front of you to like you and trust you. How do you do that? How do we get them to like you and trust you? Because we cannot manipulate their mind, as you would say, if they don't like us and trust us, right? We've got to get them to like us and trust us. So we're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk about, okay, so the person has an objection. They have a reason why they don't want to buy. How do we overcome that? And I'm going to share with everybody, Big Luca, how you can do it in advance. By that, I mean, you can plant the answer. You're going to love this one. You can plant the answer to an objection that somebody has in their mind before they have it. And here's why this is so powerful. Because if they don't think of the reason why they don't want to do it, then the answer that doesn't matter. But if they do come up with the objection, if they do think of the objection, the answer that you planted in their head pops up. And so they believe that they're answering their own question, their own objection.
Wow. Ok, let me translate this. Ok, allora una delle cose che vi insegnerà l'evento, questa è pesante, praticamente è come instillare l'obiezione nella mente delle persone prima che questa obiezione si verifichi perché la pensano loro, e dargli già la risposta, così che quando gli viene l'obiezione non ve la chieda neanche, perché oltre all'obiezione gli viene già in mente la risposta all'obiezione che in realtà è stata piantata da voi, e questo è quello che vi spiegherà lui. Quindi nel senso cose turche. Good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's real good.
Yeah, we're not gonna teach that here. They got to come to the event for that.
They have to come to the event. Yeah, they're not gonna hear it live. You know.
Yeah, they don't believe in free event. So so there's folks on here that know me, who have followed me. Dave, can you please share with us a story about the time you became a golf expert? So once you learn these strategies, you can really apply them to any business that you go into, right? They apply to any business. And so I decided that I wanted to sell a product to golfers, an information product, a book in a DVD to golfers. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a golfer. I don't play golf. Don't like golf. Don't play golf. But I knew golfers have a lot of money, right? And so I came up with a product, Big Luca, that I sold successfully to golfers called 7-minute yoga for golfers.
Right.
It was, so I practice yoga every day. In fact, I just did it right before we came on. So I practice yoga every day, but I'm not a certified yoga instructor, and I don't and I don't play golf. But because I knew the techniques of influence and persuasion and mind manipulation, I put together this product and the marketing for it, and I sold a ton of them. But I remember talking to Dan about this, saying, "Hey, Dan, I'm going to sell this product called 7-minute yoga for golfers." And Kennedy looks at me and he says, "Let me just say this one thing. If golfers will buy that piece of shit, they'll absolutely buy anything related to golf." So that was Dan's motivational speech to me about that business.
Well, he is quite blunt. I'll give it that. He doesn't pull punches. That's real good. So, guys, I don't want to steal a lot of Dave's time, because Dave's time is very valuable. Okay, it's not like he gets on live TV or whatever software we're using right now, with everybody and anybody always and answer questions. So we appreciate you, Dave. And he doesn't exactly always fly to Italy or actually to anywhere to speak. He has a very busy calendar, and he's coming to Italy, and he will spend a lot of time to lecture us and to teach us and to teach you guys about the strategies that has made him money and that have worked for plenty of his clients, as you have heard, in multiple niches, even physical things, because a lot of them, they believe, of course you're shocked, but a lot of people in Italy believe that online marketing, that's my kind of, positioning, only applies to digital things.
No.
And it's something I am really trying to extract from their mind, because it's not true. But they sometimes challenge me, say, oh, I have a physical business, I sell mattresses. Well, you can freaking apply my strategies as well. And Dave has done that very successfully.
If you're a dentist, if you're a counselor, if you are a therapist, if you are a doctor, a medical doctor.
Let me interrupt you. Come potete vedere, Dave è scioccato dal fatto che gli sto dicendo che alcuni di voi non hanno capito che l'online marketing, queste tecniche di vendita, manipolazione, chiamatele come volete, si applicano anche ai business fisici. Avete visto la faccia scioccata che ha fatto Dave? I'm telling them that you just got shocked because of the piece of news you received, but in Italy it's kind of normal. Oh, what does online marketing or selling have to do with physical brick and mortar businesses? Because they don't see the connection. So I just explained to them that shocks you, because of course you know that there is a connection.
Well, yeah, and especially what this Big Luca, this event's about. This event is about, this applies to, if you own a business and you need to sell your product or sell your service, this is the event that you must come to. Because let me just say, I'll say this last thing. This is what I love and I'm so excited about. If you get better at what we're going to teach, at selling, which is really about selling.
Yeah, it's really about selling.
Right. You give yourself, I call it an instant pay raise, because so it doesn't cost you any more money, right? So if I have 10 people who I talk to, 10 prospects, 10 people who I talk to, and I'm only closing 3 out of the 10, but I get good at this mind manipulation, and now I close 6 out of the 10, I have just doubled my money. And it did not cost me any more money.
Yeah, that's a trick. That's a magic.
That's the magic is really in this thing. Because same amount of money you spend on marketing to get the people to come to you, but now I can double. If I can go from 3 to 6, I've doubled my money without spending more money. That's what's so exciting. Yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about at the event.
Exactly. So pretty exciting. I'll see you I'm actually getting there on the 19th with a private jet from Milan to Riccione with a private jet, because that's me. And I'll see you and the other guys. I think if you want to say something else, please do. I just don't want to, take advantage of your time. You've been gracious enough, even because, it's been a last minute thing. So thank you for this. You've made everybody happy today. You've answered questions. Ok, siete felici? Penso che possiamo ringraziare Dave. Adesso lo lasciamo andare. biglucaevento.com, sono rimasti gli ultimi biglietti, ragazzi. Temporeggiate, fate quel cazzo che volete, ma tra poco diamo il sold out. 800 303 666 è il numero verde. Ok, now I have to figure out how to switch this thing off. That's it.
I'm going to let you do that. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. Ciao Dave, ci vediamo all'evento. See you at the event. Ciao a tutti.